Hi everybody, welcome to School of Scarlet. Today I have another intuitive message for you. So today's message is around money. So big money is coming in for you. You may have been wondering, is money going to come in for these things that I've started, these endeavors and, whatever you've been doing. So today's message is around money. So it's not a coincidence that you're here today. Stay tuned for today's message. But before we begin, if you are new here, I want to welcome you to my channel. I want to welcome you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell and come back for my daily intuitive messages. Okay, so one of the things we've been talking about on this channel is going deeper in our freedom timeline. And one of these things that, really activates freedom for us is having abundance, having money, because, a lot of times we feel limited or scarce when we don't have money. So today's message is to really affirm to you that you have big money coming in. You may have started, a new endeavor. You may have started a new business. You're starting to put something out there into the world or switching careers. There's something going on that you have been doing, and maybe you haven't seen the full abundance of it yet, and you're starting to question, is it ever going to come? So today's message is around that, and for the past 3 days, I have been getting this Bible verse coming in and coming in and coming in. And the Bible verse is from Jeremiah, and I'll read it to you here. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So this Bible verse, it literally is kind of like one of those earwigs, when you have a song stuck in your head. It just kept coming through and coming through and coming through. And unfortunately, I've just been real busy. It's not really unfortunately, it's just I've been real busy with different things in my life, and I haven't been able to sit down to make y'all's message. But it's perfect timing right now for this message to come through. So if you're on this message, it's for you. These messages are timeless, and it doesn't matter when you view this message, it is for you now. So this message is really to affirm to you that there is a plan and you're on the plan, and it doesn't matter, where you feel you're at on the plan, if you've detoured or whatever you feel, you're on the right plan. And this plan is to prosper you. So God, Lord, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, is wanting to prosper you. So you have big money coming in for these big plans. That's no doubt. And you don't have to doubt that. You don't have to get worried about it, have a scarcity mindset or limited mindset about it. This is a confirmation to you that the God, the Lord, Spirit is wanting to prosper you. So you have big money coming in. There is no doubt among that. So I wanted to share that here with you today. It's very loud and clear that this message is coming through for that. So I wanted to make this message and just see what came through. So one of the things I'm seeing right now is like a little teacup. And I'm seeing a teacup, and I'm seeing a ton of water. It looks like a waterfall. And so my dog Sarah's down here, so I hope she doesn't knock down the stand. But there's this big waterfall coming down, and someone holding a teacup and trying to contain all the water from the waterfall in this teacup. And it's basically, what I'm seeing is like a scarcity mindset of maybe, you have a teacup and you're trying to hold the whole waterfall, and it's not going to work that way. You have to expand your mindset. You have to expand how you're perceiving this. And it's not that you're going to try to hold everything with your small mindset. You're going to have to expand your mindset in order to hold that whole waterfall that's coming in. So that's something that you're being called to do right now, is to expand your mindset and not be scarce with just a little teacup trying to fill that. You can actually hold that whole waterfall, but you need to expand your mindset to something bigger that can hold that. The waterfall is here and it's coming, it's rushing down. But if you just have a little teacup, you're just going to take a little teacup of water home. But if you have a full, something bigger, your mindset has expanded, you can take that whole waterfall in. So how can you do that? How can you expand to the level of being the waterfall, essentially? Knowing that the waterfall is you, knowing that the waterfall is always nourishing you. So that's something that's coming through right now. The other thing I see is that sometimes we think that we are detoured off of our path, off of our plan. But as the Bible verse says, the Lord has a plan for you. So even if you seem to detour, or you seem like you feel like you made the wrong choice, or you did something where, you're now regretting it, or you're feeling like you're off the plan somehow, you've kind of backslid in some kind of way. there's nothing that you could really do to completely get off the plan. So I'm seeing like a GPS system. When we type in the destination, it takes us to that destination. But if we somehow detour, or we decide to take a different path, or we make a mistake and we get off somewhere we're not supposed to, the GPS continues to recalculate and to redirect us to the right, correct path, so that we get to that destination. So what I'm seeing here is that we're getting off the path possibly, but in the end, we're always being redirected onto that path of abundance. Eventually, you're going to get that big money through staying on that path. And even if you get off, you're going to be able to be redirected. So have no fear. You're never completely off the path. You're never completely forgotten. You're always on the path in some way or another. You're always having that GPS system within, because God, Spirit, the Lord knows the plans for you. And so it already has calculated in there those plans. So even if you as a human detour off the path, you are going to be redirected to those plans that are going to prosper you and not harm you. The other thing I'm seeing here, and so I'm trying to let it come in. Well, it kind of left me. There was something else trying to come in there. And so maybe if we talk a little bit more, it'll begin to come through again. So essentially what this Bible verse is saying is that you have it all. You have the big plans, the big money, all of that, because it's already here and now. So, okay, it came through. So I'm seeing like bricks. I'm seeing someone laying bricks and building a building. And the other day, my daughter and I were talking about this. She's like, I can't believe that people actually build all of these buildings. And I'm like, yeah, people build the buildings, right? So anyway, that was coming through. And so what I'm seeing here is somebody laying the bricks, and then there's someone behind the scenes who has created the plans, the architectural plan. So there's an architect that has actually created the plan of how this building is going to be built. And then there's someone that lays the brick. And so basically what I'm seeing here is that God's plans, the Lord's plans, are like the architect's plans. They've already been planned. Everything has already been planned out and orchestrated in a way that's perfect, and it's going to work, and this is the plans that you're going to follow. And it's not like you're handed the plans, but essentially what you're going to do is just brick by brick is lay those bricks. And by the end of the day, or the end of the whole time period that you're building whatever it is that you're building in your life, it's going to be complete, and it's going to be built on those plans. But you're not really going to feel that, because what you're doing is just brick by brick by brick is laying that. So you might feel like you don't know what the plan is. You might be feeling, there might be someone listening here that just doesn't feel like they know what the next step is, what the next plan is. And you don't need to know. There's already a plan. There's already an architectural plan there. But you're just being called to lay brick by brick by brick. You're being called just to take one step, and then the next step that arises, and the next step that arises. You don't need to figure out the whole architectural plan. That has already been figured out, and it's really none of your business. All you have to do is lay the brick and brick and brick. And as you do that, you complete this grand big plan. And at the end of the day, you will have this beautiful building built. And for you, whatever that resonates as, it could be something in your business, it could be a creative project you're doing, you could have some great monumental plan, whatever it happens to be. You don't need to figure it all out. The plan has already been created. Just go step by step laying those bricks. So I hope that some of these visuals and some of these intuitive messages have helped you to reconnect and kind of redirect and know and confirm that these big plans are going to bring you big money. And you don't need to know the plans. The Lord already has these big plans. And so this message, and I'll reread the Bible verse once again. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. So one of the things that's coming through as just a closing for this is that we do have to kind of give some deposits into this bank account. Yes, we're going to be given big money, that this big money is going to help us to expand, to build this huge big building that'll benefit not just us, but others. That's the way that these things work. But we do still have to make deposits into our bank. So just like when we have a savings account that accrues interest or something like that, we make our deposits and then it's either matched or the interest, accrues and things like that. So we do still have to make deposits into that bank account. It's not like we just don't do anything. So how do we make those deposits? What I'm seeing here now is that we make these deposits by having faith in knowing that whatever it is our plans are going to happen, they're going to really happen. Basically having kind of the wish fulfilled mentality, having, you know, total faith is really knowing that whatever you ask for will be completed. So asking, you should receive, just that kind of mentality, having total faith in you. So spirit kind of deposits in here, having deposits of gratitude, being grateful as each brick is laid, being grateful that you have that brick and that you're building. So having gratitude around that. So you're going to basically be kind of making these deposits into this bank account that's going to eventually grow and grow and grow. And you're growing all of this in a way that eventually everything's going to come together and you're going to have a completely built building, and it's going to be amazing. So I want you to know that you're not off your path. You're always being detoured or redirected back onto the plan. You could never get off of this plan, and this plan is meant to prosper you. So if you're worried or hung up about money, just know that this plan is meant to prosper you. There is no doubt about that. And at some level, you have already received all of that prosperous money and all of that. So you just have to align to that. So not only do we have to make the deposits as, you know, our faith and our gratitude, we have to align to the fact and have total faith that that plan is already complete somewhere in this multi-universe. Okay, so I hope that this message resonated with you, that it brought you the hope and the inspiration that you need to move forward in your plans. Your plans are God's plans, but God sees the completed plan and knows much more than you do as your limited human self. So have faith in that. Connect to God, connect to spirit. Sometimes I call it intuition. It's within us. And if you have any trouble connecting to your intuition, listening to that inner voice, feel free to reach out to me. I have all of my links and information in the description for one-on-one session and courses and things like that. So go ahead and check that out if that is resonating with you. Again, if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Or if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. It helps out this channel. Give me a thumbs up while you're at it. Share this video with others. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I will catch you on our next message. Thank you for watching. I love you all.